I'm sorry. But why would this family hire this guy? Like, this is literally making the family look bad. Anthony family, why did you hire this man? Wow.
Okay.
It's sad, but it's true. Karmelo Anthony planned this whole thing out. And we're seeing this chaos unfold before our eyes because he is choosing to live with lies. I wasn't even meaning to rhyme there. But it is true. What you're about to see is honestly just, it nearly leaves me speechless because I can't believe what's unfolding before our eyes. You see Dominique Alexander working overtime to make the defendant in this case seem as though he's a victim in this case. He's working overtime to build this narrative, to build the tension, to provoke a reaction. He's working all this time. And the family is behind him too. They're not innocent. They're all working together to make sure that Karmelo Anthony doesn't have to pay the cost for his actions. When they could just tell him, if you don't want to be blamed for murder, don't commit murder. If you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. Okay? Instead of crying to the news reporters, maybe go home and cry to your son and ask him, why did he do this to your family? Because at the end of the day, the person who needs to be answering for this situation is Karmelo Anthony. I'm Tamera, and you're watching the Tamera Nealy Show. I would like to welcome back all my returning subscribers. And if you're new here, I would like to let you know I'm happy you're here. Let's pray, because we know that prayer is not our last resort. It is our first. And so I want to quickly pray. Lord, I just thank you for today. Thank you for the opportunity to just be here and to just be here. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to just share the truth with so many people around the world, Lord. I pray for Jeff Metcalf, Lord. I pray that you give him comfort today. Lord, you know that he's grieving. He just laid his son to rest last Saturday. And to hear everything that the defense has been putting together has probably just made his blood boil. Lord, but I pray that you remind him that it's important in something that you say in your word is, we can be angry, but sin not. Thank you for allowing him to represent Austin Metcalf so well. That just goes to show that Austin Metcalf has a strong support system. The fact that Jeff Metcalf showed up to the press conference today. So thank you just for allowing him to be there and stand. Despite everything else, that man is still standing. So Lord, I thank you for him as he continues to stand for his family, stand in the face of adversity, stand when no one else is standing. Thank you, Lord, for Jeff Metcalf. Thank you for Megan, Lord. I pray that you, I pray that you put a hedge of protection around her home, Lord. I pray that you comfort her. I can only imagine the grief, the pain that she's experiencing. Lord, and I just pray that you be her light. Lord, be her comfort today. Protect her and protect Hunter. I pray for the entire Metcalf family, whether that's distant cousins, whether that's, aunt and uncle, grandma, grandpa. I pray for them all, Lord, as they go through this trying time, Lord. Help them to know that you are with them through this. I pray for Karmelo Anthony's family. Lord, I pray that you encourage them to tell their son the truth, to hold their son accountable. Lord, I believe that, what's her name? I don't know her name, but I believe that Karmelo Anthony's mother knows that what her son did was wrong. I believe that, Lord. And I pray that she tells her son what he did was wrong and prepare him for what is to come. Help her to teach her son responsibility and accountability, Lord. Help her to understand that her son took a life, and a life requires a life. And so that is exactly why her family is going through this tragedy, because her son took a life and it's destroyed their life. And so, Lord, help her to reason through this as she goes through this situation. Lord, I pray for Karmelo Anthony's father. Be with him. Help him to do the right thing. Help Dominique Alexander to do the right thing. And Lord, I just pray that we focus on the facts in this case and that we continue to keep our eyes on you. In Jesus' name, amen. Before we watch the press conference, let's just clear the air and let's see what Austin Metcalf's dad did at the press conference. So we know that there's the police right here. They walk in, they see Austin Metcalf's dad standing there. They walk him outside. They had seemed to have spoken to him before they walked outside. Here he goes, walking outside. They're having a conversation. And then you see this. Watch this. As he said, did you hear Austin Metcalf's dad say he's not here to cause any problems? So let's just clear that up. He's standing in the gap for his son. And that is what any good father would do. His son was murdered last week or 2 weeks ago on April 2nd. So let's respect a grieving father. And there you go. He shakes the hands and he walks off. We saw what Austin Metcalf's dad did. Okay. So before there's any, he literally said, I'm not here to cause any problems. Before we get into this video, let's recap what we know happened on April 2nd. So on April 2nd, police got a call that there was a stabbing at a Frisco track meet. They arrived to find Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony had a brief altercation. Austin Metcalf was not armed. However, Karmelo Anthony had a knife that Austin Metcalf knew nothing about. They're in this altercation. Austin Metcalf asked Karmelo Anthony to leave his school's tent because Karmelo Anthony was not a part of the school. They didn't want him in his tent. They asked him to leave, and Karmelo Anthony says, touch me and see what happens. There was a brief altercation that happened between the two of them. Then Karmelo Anthony says, punch me and see what happens. Then Karmelo Anthony proceeds to go into his backpack. He pulls out a knife and he shortly after stabs Austin Metcalf in the chest. This is what we know. This is what the police report tells us. And these are the facts of the case. The Austin Metcalf family has been involved in a great tragedy. Their son was senselessly taken by Karmelo Anthony. And because Karmelo Anthony is a black young man, the public has chosen, specifically the black community, has chosen to stand behind him despite the fact that he unalived an innocent person. If you're new here, we've been covering this case nearly since the beginning, since I found out about it. There's so much that's happened, so you got to go watch the videos. I was about to pull up every single thing, but I was like, oh my gosh, we have so many videos about what happened. You can go watch everything, and you can see that we've disproved all of these lies that Karmelo Anthony's supporters have said. We've disproved every single lie, and we're going to continue disproving all the lies that they're spreading. You're about to hear this family say that they're dealing with threats and they're dealing with this and they're dealing with that. Okay, as the defendant walks free, we learn that the family of Austin Metcalf is dealing with threats and swatting incidents. Metcalf's mother's home was targeted with a false report claiming someone had been shot in the mouth. She was not home when the police arrived. We know that Megan Metcalf has been dealing with threats. We know that Austin Metcalf's family has been dealing with so much, but they've been quiet on this because they're not trying to get this publicity. They're not trying to create some sort of narrative. They don't have any sort of ulterior motives here. Because at the end of the day, the facts are on their side. Their son should still be here today. The thing that Dominique Alexander is about to say, just take it with a grain of salt. We know the facts. We know what happened in this case. And to be honest, he's just trying to get you emotional. Keep in mind, Dominique Alexander is responsible for the deaths of 5 officers due to the violent protests that he was involved in, that he was responsible for inciting. He's also responsible for hurting a 2-year-old child and causing them brain damage. This is who Dominique Alexander is. So as we watch this, just keep that in mind. And to be honest, it looks like, I just don't even know. It's just all full of emotion, what's about to happen. So don't get emotional. Let's stay focused on the facts. Let's look at this objectively, and let's just watch it.
I want to start off this press conference to say something as a deep note that I can tell America. What we seen at the beginning of this press conference, the father being at this press conference, these are my words, don't quote anybody, is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. Next Generation Action Network from the beginning has respected the loss of life. No matter our opinion of it, we have kept our opinion close. We have not attacked.
Have they kept their opinion close? I'm just going to let this play out, but I want to ask you that question.
We have not shared the information that was shared with us about Austin Metcalf because we respect the dignity of life and loss. And as a...
I want to go in so bad. I want to go in so bad. Because he says they haven't shared what they know about Austin Metcalf. You mean the lies that y'all have been spreading about Austin Metcalf? The lies that you yourself, sir, told your supporters to stop spreading because you said that it hurt your case. But clearly, the lies has been spread so much that even the bail bondsman who was involved in bailing Karmelo Anthony out went ahead and paid for his whole bail based off of a lie. I will insert the screenshot in here from his Facebook. He believes the false accusations that you said to stop spreading. You guys are a part of spreading the lies. Stop trying to be fake here. We know what's going on.
Mister, I would not attack a grieving family, even if I disagree with them. When I have stood before this podium for people who have died at the hands of law enforcement, I have asked for that same manner of respect. And even when the shoe is on the other foot, I will not do that. And all I'm going to say, so it don't be asked later.
Now, why is he talking about what he would not do? And Dominique Alexander is making this all about himself. This is about his organization, getting his organization out there. And that's dangerous because you're playing with people's lives here. You're playing not only with the victim's family's life, but you're even playing with Karmelo Anthony's family's lives. This could get very dangerous. This could get violent because of what you're doing, Dominique Alexander. Do you realize this? This is not good. What you're doing is not right. It's not good. You're doing this because you want to promote your organization. At the cost of what? Adults, something that Dennis Prager taught me is adults ask themselves this question: what is the cost? What is the cost, Dominique Alexander, of what you're doing? What could you potentially do to our country because of this case? This is not good.
That was disrespectful and just shows you all the character. Who is not invited, he knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family, but he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words, okay? What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism. We have conservative operatives that have been posting nonstop about this case. It is outright disrespectful. We haven't been doing it. The Next Generation Action Network has been here, popular and unpopular. So regardless of what's going on, that was disrespectful.
Got to spend that time to make sure y'all know about the Next Generation Activism, or whatever it's called, Action Network. The Next Generation Action Network. He's making this all about himself. This is the ringleader in this. He's the ringleader. He's the one who reached out to the parents. He's the one who saw an opportunity. And it's sad because what he's doing is wrong.
Disrespectful. And I will leave it to y'all to define it. But of course we want to. Y'all, I'm Minister Dominique Alexander. I serve as the president of the Next Generation Action Network. Today I come before you with a heavy heart, but determined in spirit, not just as an advocate, but as a black man, as a father, as a protector, in community, and children. There are 4 critical points I must address today, and I want to make sure that the public and the media and everyone who believes in truth and justice. First, the misinformation about the fund. From the very beginning, there was an intentional disinformation surrounding the fund created in the support of the Anthony family. The Karmelo Anthony Fund, hosted by Give, Send, Go, let's be clear. The family has not received one dime. Any of the media could have verified this, but we saw on Twitter.
They haven't received a dime yet. Do you see how they're trying to play these games with you? And then they want to talk about how the conservatives have been posting nonstop about this. It's because we've been trying to get ahead of your lies so a war doesn't break out in this country. We don't want to see that happen. So we're trying to make sure that people are rallying behind the truth in this case. This is not a race case. This is not a political case. This is a case about getting justice for Austin Metcalf, an innocent young man whose life was taken senselessly because someone named Karmelo Anthony could not control his anger. Since the beginning, Jeff Metcalf has said, do not make this about race. Do not make this about politics. Whatever, he said this since the beginning. So everything that this man is pushing out is clearly false. It's clearly false.
We saw on Facebook and so many different things of the false, lavish life of this family. $800,000 home, purchase Escalade, and private security.
See, he's looking for any opportunity. And this is why I tell y'all, do not give these people an opportunity. I told you that in last video. I literally said, be careful. Or maybe I didn't say it just like that. But I said, don't let these people get your blood pressure up. Don't let them get you riled up. This is exactly why I said it. Because they're going to take any little thing and make it into something because they don't have a case. They don't have a defense. If you're for America and you love this country, please listen to me. Do not fuel these people's fire. Do not give them ammunition to use against Austin Metcalf's family in this case. Don't do that. We want justice for Austin Metcalf. Do not get in the way of Austin Metcalf getting justice. We want to see Karmelo Anthony do time in prison. I want to see him do time in prison for his actions because he unalived an innocent young man who had the rest of his life ahead of him. I want to see that. So please do not fuel Dominique Alexander's fire, because what he's trying to do is create a whole nother George Floyd protest, but he wants to make it even worse.
It's very clear. The Next Generation Action Network has always had its security detail. Many of you that know us in the Dallas and Fort Worth media know that we have our own security detail. One of the individuals that escorted Karmelo Anthony out of jail is here present with us now. They are a part of the Next Generation Action Network security team. The family hasn't hired any private contractors or whatever, or splurged or whatever. But if they have the audacity.
Notice he mentions his team again. They are a part of the security team, is a part of the Next Generation. It's just exhausting. Sir, you're full of yourself.
To spend money for their safety and security, that's their prerogative. The family has not withdrawn, and just until recently, just yesterday, they were officially notified by Give, Send, Go that they could start the withdrawal process. But if anybody know about this process, they know that that takes about 2 to 3 days to withdraw from that and actually hit any account. But this blatant propaganda wasn't just about the fund. It was to discourage the public.
Notice he's using the word propaganda. The propaganda around this. You mean the lies that you guys have been spreading? Do you remember the side who decided to make a false social media account on behalf of Austin Metcalf because they knew Karmelo Anthony didn't have a case, so they made this false social media that said, I believe it was, I hope one of these monkeys don't come to the track meet. Austin Metcalf never wrote that. Talk about those lies. That house situation is nothing compared to what Karmelo Anthony, the supporters have been coming up with. These lies that they've been coming up with. I didn't even speak on the house situation. If they want to use the money how they want to, that's on the Karmelo Anthony supporters. They shouldn't have even been given to those people. Why are you even trying to support somebody who unalived somebody? That's on them. People can give their money to who they want to, but it's amazing to me how people are willing to take money out of the hands of their children, take food out of their children's mouth to support this foolishness. But that's on them. That's their decision if they want to support the foolishness.
From giving to the fund. That's what this was about. Because just like TMZ was able to call, give, send, go, everybody in the media, in these news outlets that I've never
past this part. This meeting is already way too long. You talk for almost 30 minutes straight. The mom is only going to talk for probably like 5 minutes. This man has made it all about Next Generation Action and what he's got going on. He's pushing this narrative and making up stuff. You're overly emotional. You're a whole grown man. Stop acting like a little girl. It doesn't look attractive.
Safety.
I cannot believe he just spent several minutes talking about that. This is ridiculous. But see, it's all about nothing to see here, focus on this, it's just so ridiculous. Let's go to the next scene.
To unimaginable amount of hate, racism, threats to their safety. People have sat outside their house, sent objects delivered to their door, publicly harassed, online and in person. This is not just about Karmelo. It's about the family who dared to stand and demand justice and in return and receive ugliness that racism in this country still breeds.
What is this man talking about? You talk about how his family is experiencing all these things, people showing up at their house and yada. They need to talk to their son Karmelo about why this is happening. Because he's the one who unalived somebody. He's the reason why his family is going through this, not anybody else. They need to teach Karmelo Anthony that at the end of the day, you can't control the actions of other people, but you can control the actions of yourself. This is why self-control is so important. That's why that needs to be taught. Self-discipline, self-government. These people are not taking accountability for their son's actions. And that's probably why they're experiencing what they're experiencing, how they're experiencing it. They're making themselves into victims, and they're not. I just talked about what Megan Metcalf has been going through. You don't see her hosting a press conference. Both families are going through stuff because of what Karmelo Anthony did. Let's not forget who caused all this chaos.
But let me say this loud and clear. We are not scared. We are not moving. We will not be silent.
Look at Karmelo Anthony's parents. I don't even know how to read the dad's face. I'm still trying to understand what's going through the dad's mind. And then the mom, she seems pretty angry and, she's kind of upset. But the dad, I'm just like, does he even know what's going on? Like, sir, you need to talk to your son about this. Your son is obviously the one in the wrong.
What I've always said as president of the Next Generation Action Network, we will never ask the oppressor for permission to liberate our people.
What in the world? This is crazy. Like, this is crazy. I usually don't spend my time reviewing a whole 30-minute press conference, but this was worth reviewing because this exposes the mindset of this whole situation, the defense. It exposes the mindset of where they are. They're the victims in this. They are oppressed because the oppressor has oppressed them. Even though they live in a big house, they've got the world, they've got all this stuff around them. They live in a great community, Frisco, Texas. They got all this, apparently they got all this money. The dad has a great job. The mom has been given the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom, but they're oppressed by the oppressors. This is the social justice mindset. These are social justice warriors. And it's sad because I would think that this family had to believe in, conservative values to get to where they are. Like, wow. This is really sad. But this is the mindset. How are these people oppressed? They are some of the wealthiest black people in the country. Most black people are only making like around $40,000 a year. How are they oppressed again? I want to know. And last time I checked, their son's bond got reduced by 75%. It got reduced to $250,000. What are they even talking about? What oppression are they talking about? Because I don't see how you're oppressed in this situation whatsoever. Your bail bondsman, just pay for your bond. People, you got thousands of people rallying behind you. You've got you got $500,000 sitting in the bank account. How are you oppressed? What sense does this make? Black people, are you really falling for this? I want to know, black people, black Americans, are you really falling for this? Are you really taking time to think about this? Because take the emotion out of it. This doesn't make sense at all.
We will not ask for permission to stand up for the rights of our children. The Next Generation Action Network has stood on both sides of the fence in ensuring that justice is served. Now, getting to the information that the Next Generation Action Network wanted to share with the public today. And I will go ahead and pass it over to the mother and once I make this statement, okay? All right. There's two more final. For the last week and a half, the Next Generation Action Network has engaged in communications with Frisco ISD to ensure that Karmelo Anthony's due process is not violated. We know that in the state of Texas, there are things that are discretionary things and decisions by the leadership of Frisco ISD, right? There are clear guidance in the state and education code regarding expulsion of a student. We have asked several times. We didn't just rush. We have had these conversations over the last several days. And we have stated that it is just outright wrong to get involved in this. Karmelo Anthony doesn't have to walk. He doesn't have to involve in any senior activities. But Karmelo Anthony is a 3.7 GPA student. And if he doesn't even go to class for the remainder of the year, he would graduate, okay? We've asked that Frisco do not make a decision in this situation. But Frisco ISD has notified of their intent to expel Karmelo Anthony from school 1 month before his high school graduation. That just shows me that Frisco ISD is trying to push off the blame. And what I have not heard the media say, as many media outlets have asked us,
They're upset at Frisco ISD because their son is being held accountable for committing murder. What is the issue with how Frisco ISD is responding to this situation? To me, they should be more aggressive about their approach. So they've actually been very gracious and kind to your son. Yes, your son should get expelled. He did this at a track meet. A school track meet. Kids are getting expelled every day for bringing even weed to school. And that the school will suspend, at least I know in my old school district, they'll suspend a kid for that for the whole year. The school is not at fault here, sir. Karmelo Anthony is at fault here. That's why I keep bringing it back to Karmelo Anthony. Because as I'm reviewing this, as I'm thinking through this, every time, this simply goes back to Karmelo Anthony. Go ask him why the school is expelling him. Because he committed a senseless crime. He unalived another student. Come on, y'all.
What went on? I'm trying to find how many of y'all have asked the superintendent or one single board of trustee, why didn't you cancel or postpone? With weather in that magnitude, you couldn't have a track meet in rain.
Schools every day are having track meets in rain, in weather, bad weather. You realize I played softball. So, I mean, there were times when, I was an athlete for, over a decade, really. And we had to play in all kinds of weather. Kids play in bad weather. It happens. The person to blame is Karmelo Anthony. The weather is not the reason why Karmelo Anthony committed the crime he committed. This is silly. This is really silly.
Other journalists, how the weather was that day and that time. Y'all do that research. Because as a person who is the administrator.
The dad. Sir, you are smart enough to know that these arguments are silly. The dad is smarter than what he is acting like. But he's willing to do anything to make sure his son doesn't pay consequences. And that is selfish.
Yet children, you are responsible for the safety of the children. And so it seems as if Frisco ISD is trying to push this off.
Did Dominique Alexander run this through the lawyers before he got up there and said this stuff? He sounds crazy. This is just, if these are a part of the 4 points that you want to bring up, sir, your case is so weak. Your arguments are weak. This is crazy. And the sad part is some black people are going to watch this who aren't watching this video. And they're going to be like, yeah, he's so right. This is literally doesn't even make sense.
by making this decision that they do not have to make. So the Next Generation Action Network, outside of the legal process, will be going through different avenues regarding to ensure that we fight for the rights of Karmelo Anthony.
I'm sorry, but why would this family hire this guy? Like, this is literally making the family look bad. Anthony family, why did you hire this man? Wow.
Okay, so in the next coming days, we will be announcing to the public. We will do direct action outside of Frisco ISD administration office because this is outright wrong.
Wow. So now he's threatening. He said, we will do action. What does direct action look like, sir? See, this man is just wanting to promote his organization at any cost. Even if that means starting violent protests, which we're on to him. We already knew that was what he was up to. But it's just crazy to me. But he's getting y'all so emotional. Oh, the weather. It was bad. So that's why Karmelo Anthony did what he did. It's because of the weather. What in the world are we talking about? This logic doesn't even make sense. I had to laugh, and I usually keep a straight face. But this is hilarious because it's crazy. It's ridiculous. It has no sort of, it's just, I can't even.
You are getting involved in a process that even the legal process has asked us to respect. And we're asking you to do that same thing.
Sir, you just said you're getting involved in a process that the legal process has asked you to respect. Sir, aren't you doing that same thing? Aren't you getting involved in what the legal service asked you not to be a part of? Sir, you're talking about yourself. Okay?
You do not have to get involved in this situation. But it seems that even with us going and meeting or having conversations, they have made their mind up. And we want to make sure that the record, that we talk truth to power in regards.
That's what they love to say. Talk truth to power. That's their favorite line. That's a Marxist line right there. Like, that's how Marxists think. They're all about talking truth to power.
To lay this out to ensure, because of the sensitivity of this case, there are so many moving factors that I have to explain so that this family does not have to explain. Let me say this about the 4th, and let me repeat this so that you guys can go to the Frisco Police Department. The reason why the family or me or anybody with direct knowledge of this cannot talk about the particulars of what happened in that tent. I know you know this is all law.
Sir, you're lying. Okay? But let's replay that just one more time. Like, this whole interview is just based in lies. This whole press conference.
Of what happened in that tent.
Let me say it.
I know you know this is.
Let's listen to it.
Or me or anybody with direct knowledge of this cannot talk about the particulars of what happened in that tent. I know you.
Sir, people have already talked about the particulars of what happened in that tent. We've already heard testimony about what happened in the tent. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We've already heard about what happened in the tent.
This is all law. It's because if anybody tell you there was an adult near or inside or whatever, this current investigation knows nothing about that. Everybody involved at this point of our knowledge, are minors. In the state of Texas, you know we cannot release or talk about minors. So stop asking us the question. Stop. It's no. We can't even do it if we wanted to.
This man has lost his marbles. I don't even know what he's talking about at this point. Sir, we've already heard people give testimony about what happened in the tent. You can look at the police report. I believe, let me see something just to show you. I'm on the police report right now. Like, this is just crazy that this man is just coming up with this stuff. As this is from Officer Alvin Fisher. When I arrived, the crime scene is already marked off and the suspect was in custody. I began asking, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I attempted to ask him both. Okay, hold up. So we made the decision. Hold up. Okay. They were with, okay. I made contact with Hunter, Metcalf, and blank blank. So I think that means blackmail. I don't know what that stands for, or I'm not sure what that stands for right there. They were both breathing heavily and crying due to the nature of events. They were with coaches on the field and it was raining down. It was pouring down rain. We made the decision to relocate to the locker room just to get to the east to get out of the rain. Once in there, things calmed a little bit. However, they were still hysterical and could not really talk. In there, I learned Hunter was the brother of the victim. I attempted to ask them both what had happened. I could not really get anything out of Hunter, but Blank stated he wanted to speak. I asked him what happened, and he stated they were all sitting on the bleachers under a Memorial High School tent when another male who he did not know walked over and sat under the tent. Then said Austin, the victim, told this male that since he did not go to Memorial, he had to leave the tent. Austin and the male went back and forth, and then Austin stood up and pushed the male to get him out of the tent. Blank had said during this time of arguing, the male was reaching around in his bag he had. It was at this time the male took out a knife and stabbed Austin and then left the scene. This was all Blank remembered when he talked to me. After this, I then stood by with 3 athlete witnesses until CID arrived and interviewed them. I was then relieved by an SRO and went back to patrol. Man is clearly making up lies to get you emotional, to get you riled up. Black people, is that really what you want to do in this situation? Black people, is this really who you want to follow? This person who he's not making any sense at all. We've been watching this whole thing and we've heard multiple lies told. And I started literally laughing because it's just like, I can't believe this man said that the weather is the reason why this happened. Oh, Lord. Let's keep going.
Okay? We can't talk about it. So don't ask. There is a court of law that will express everything, will lay out everything. We can't talk about it if we wanted to. Okay? So make it clear. Go back, confirm with Frisco Police Department. Go back, confirm with the district attorney. Even in the bond hearing, you didn't see a single thing said about people that was indirect. They're minors. Okay? So stop the social media.
Yes, you did see a single thing. I had to, I've tried to let him talk through this, but I had to bring up the facts because he's obviously lying here. He's making it, the parents have to know this is not true. Wow.
Stop. I haven't saw not one person single-handedly get this right in the public. They're minors, y'all. Just stop. We can't. Don't send another inquiry to NGAN inbox. Do this, all of that. That's the reason why we felt like it was important to do this press conference today. We can't talk about it. So if you ask me, I'm just going to look at you, okay? So I'm telling the world. Everybody know the state law. I'm not creating it. We can't talk about it. This family can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. Nobody, unless you want to be sued. You release one of those 16-year-olds or 15-year-olds and 17-year-olds name, the law of this land tells you what.
What is this man talking about? I mean, he's making up anything and he's hoping y'all believe it.
going to happen to you. Okay? So don't ask that question. Finally, in regards to this judge, I do not know Judge Angela Tucker.
Just because somebody says something doesn't make it true. Okay? Just because somebody says something doesn't make it true. Go fact check. These things can be disproven by a simple Google search. Look at the police report. Familiarize yourself with the case. So you don't believe lies like this and get all emotional and then you want to go start protesting. Please don't do that, Black people. Please don't do that, anybody. I don't care what color you are. If you're believing these lies, please don't believe them.
I've never met her, never known her, never been nowhere near her court. Don't know anything about her until we were notified that she was going to hear the writ. But the ugly attacks on...
We already know that judge had caved into public pressure. I'm not going to waste a minute on that. Like I said, this case has nothing to do with politics. This is about right and wrong. We knew that the bond was going to be lowered. We talked about that last week. But what we did not expect is for the bond to be lowered that much. And people were upset. They have the right to be upset. Now, if anybody's being violent about this, and they shouldn't be violent. Don't be violent. It's okay to be upset, but sin not. It's okay to be angry, but sin not. Don't get yourself caught up. But don't let these people, as I've already said in this video, don't let them get you all riled up. Because he said he had 4 points he wanted to make. All of these points are easily disputable. He just wants something to say. He wants a platform to be able to boost his engagement on Facebook and to talk about what he's got going on.
I'm going to just say, I'm from Oak Cliff. Worser things have been said about me, baby. You don't got...
He's going back at it. He's from Oak Cliff and blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the family because I have been hearing him enough.
I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband works hard every single day to provide for us. To make sure
Ma'am, you're not a victim. You're not a victim. And see, that's the problem with the Black community. That's exactly why the Black community is being held back right now. Because they play victim. Take accountability for what your son did. What he did was wrong. If you love him, tell him the truth. If you love him, make sure you have some tough love for him. He's a grown man almost. Stop treating him like he's some little girl. This is why I wanted to hear what the dad had to say about this. Because I really am curious to hear his mindset. Defending his son's actions. What his son did was wrong. Ma'am, stop all the tears and the emotionism.
To make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way.
And that's good job. Good job for making sure that your family, that your children were nurtured and loved. Being a stay-at-home mom is a great thing. That's good. But all that to say, your son is still wrong.
In the wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think,
I'll let her finish.
Between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about.
Yeah, and Megan Metcalf didn't deserve that either. Unfortunately, when the media gets involved, when people get involved, this thing goes crazy, especially when you've got somebody like Dominique Alexander on your team who is inciting craziness and making people get all emotional and riled up. He's a part of this. Hold your team accountable. And to the people who are doing that on the Austin Metcalf side, you shouldn't be doing that either. Don't, like I said, don't let these people get your blood pressure up, because that messes with the case.
The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff.
These lies have put Austin Metcalf's family in danger. Those same lies have helped you. The lies that you're talking about have helped your family raise over $500,000 or nearly $500,000. You got to see through what is going on here. Don't be led by emotions, y'all. Don't be led by tears. Focus on the facts in this case, because this is what happens is that families try to play victim when they know good and well their family member is wrong.
Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats.
Why is the husband not speaking on behalf of the family? This goes to show me that there's a breakdown in the communication in their home. The husband, just like you saw Jeff Metcalf show up earlier today, when I tell you Jeff Metcalf is that type of dad who's real involved. When it comes to his sons, he's going to be right there. Why are you crying, Andrew Anthony? Why are you crying? Your son is the one who did this. Stop playing these. The reason why your mental health is deteriorating is because you're not telling yourself the truth about the situation. When you tell yourself the truth about the situation, it will make it easier for you to handle the outcome. It will make you easier to accept what is happening. Regards to your son. This is the son you raised. You got to take accountability.
My 15-year-old daughter is afraid.
Just because you're yelling, ma'am, it's not going to change anything. But go ahead.
Sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her.
She can thank her brother for that. That's because of her brother's actions. Because her brother chose to do this, it has caused your whole family to go through. Her brother needs to be the person to apologize for it.
And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime.
You haven't received a dime yet. And it's not far off for people to wonder if you're using that money for that, or if maybe you don't have the money yet, but since you know you're going to get it, did you put it on the credit card because you knew that you could eventually afford it? It's not unreasonable for people to wonder how you're using the money. And I'm not saying that y'all put it on the credit card because y'all knew y'all could afford it after you got the money. I know that Karmelo Anthony's dad makes a lot of money. But people can wonder what they want to wonder about this case. You're getting a lot of money from people.
The Give Send Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial.
Don't know why you're being targeted, ma'am. Y'all had to kind of lower the blinds because it's starting to get dark. We've been talking about this for hours now. You don't know why you're being targeted, ma'am? Maybe it's because of, maybe you should ask Dominique Alexander why you're being targeted. I'm sure he knows the truth.
Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a two-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the
If you put God first in everything that you do, you should have made sure that Jeff Metcalf stayed in that room. Because something that Jeff Metcalf has given your son is forgiveness. I haven't heard you once show any sort of kindness to the Metcalf family. I haven't heard you once. Yeah, you're saying, "Oh, I'm sorry for their loss" and stuff like that. But it's all out of all out of selfishness. You're not really sorry. You should have said it right to that man while he was there. Instead, you said you couldn't start the press conference because he was there. If you put God first, he should have been able to stay in that room. You should have been able to spew your lies right in front of him. He should have been able to hear you say what you were going to say. This is all just talk for them.
Constitution, we believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us.
What does that mean, ma'am? You're trying to have a big CNN moment? The law is applying here. And we've seen how the law is applying to all of you. You just got a reduction in bond because of the DEI judge that's on the case. Judge Tucker. What are you even talking about?
To be clear, when I speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent.
And when I say DEI, she has talked about inclusion and how she's all for that. And she uses those sort of buzzwords, which tells me I don't care if she voted Republican. A lot of people are fiscally conservative. But when it comes to their values, they are not always that way. So in this situation, I think the judge should have handled it a little bit better. I think she caved in to public pressure.
That rainy and awful day, there's an active investigation that everyone is.
Rainy and awful day. Just because you're acting like your son is allergic to rain, ma'am. Your son is not allergic to rain. Stop with this. This is literally like, I just don't even understand it. And I'm trying to hurry up because I know I got to edit this video because y'all want to see it. So I'm trying to hurry up. But it's just like, I can't even. It's just like, what are we even talking about? I'm looking past the tears. Let's focus on what she's actually saying.
Wants to be full and fair. We believe in the legal process, and that is where the truth will come out.
Oh, you believe in the legal process, but you're hosting this press conference and you're making sure that you release statements and all this stuff, and you got to spin the narrative, but you believe in the legal process, but you've hired additional manpower. Dominique Alexander, you believe in the legal process, but you got to make sure you got Dominique Alexander because he actually has been involved in violent protests. So your plan must be to use him. I would think, just thinking through this, that you're probably thinking if the legal system does not work in your favor, you are willing to do anything, which I don't know if we skip past Dominique's comments on what he asked the supporters to do, but if we did, we'll go back.
To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family.
Yeah, my heart really goes out to you because I know my son did wrong is what she wanted to say.
Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
Y'all, I'm going to show something up.
Yeah, what Dominique is about to do is just crazy to me. This man has some nerve pulling this out. Absolutely ridiculous. But it goes to show that he is about attacking the people who go against him. After he just said he ain't about the attacking. He's not about all that. But watch him do what he's about to do.
Of a post. You come for me, I come for you. Sarah Fields. Never heard of this woman. This is the kind of despicable things that led to the father being here. political operatives motivating this family with hate. Karmelo Anthony posted on something that shows, posted here. These are the type of lies that are threatening this family. Posting the family's picture. These are the type of lies. She's getting millions of views on this. Sarah, she's even came after me. She's even said all of those things. And now that the public knows exactly what is going on, I ask.
We'll look into what Sarah said in a whole nother video, because when I looked at it, I didn't see anything that was just so outlandish and so crazy. Now, the house thing, she was speculating on that. She was speculating that the family used the money from the Give, Send, Go, because in the courtroom, remember that Andrew Anthony had said that his family was going through financial struggles trying to pay for this. So that he made it seem as though his family didn't have a lot of money right now because of what they're going through, and they got to pay for the defense, and they got to pay for this, and he had to take a leave from his job. So Sarah was just speculating when she said that. Come on. It's not far off. They're going to have access to the money, and they've already posted on Give, Send, Go that the money is not only going to be used for the defense. It's not far off.
Because these racist bigots try to prevent us from standing up for our baby, our boy.
I am a young lady who happens to be an American of African descent. And I'm speaking up on this. This is not about race. This is not about any of that. This is about the truth. This is about the facts. This is about getting justice for Austin Metcalf. Let's remember that.
He should be afforded the same rights that Kyle Rittenhouse had, Daniel Penna, and all of the people who have claimed whatever their defense was. He should be afforded the same right. Nobody in the public media has one video camera, but we got the
And he is being afforded those rights. What are you even talking about? We already talked about in a few videos ago about the whole bond being set at $1 million. That's not uncommon. We even saw a black judge set another black woman's bond to $1 million just last month because she left her children at home for several years. What are you talking about, sir? You're just talking to hear yourself talk at this point, and so you can raise money for your organization.
With an AK-47 shooting 3 people in the back. We got that. And he raised more than $2 million publicly, and nobody says anything. So since they tried to come for us, I call for the community's overwhelming support for this fund. The disinformation that was put out was literally deliberate to prevent you from helping this family. And I want you to give overwhelming support to show them the community united can never. Let
me replay that for a second. I got distracted.
And I want you to give overwhelming support to show them the community united can never. This information that was put out was literally deliberate to prevent you from helping this family. And I want you to give overwhelming support to show them the community united can never be divided.
I want you guys to remember Dominique Alexander saying that, because as he's encouraging people to continue to give support to this GoFundMe or the Give, Send, Go, that means that those people are going to have a vested interest in the outcome. And as more people have a vested interest in the outcome, we know how some people can be very violent when they don't get what they want. We know that some people can get violent when they don't get the outcomes they want. So I'm saying, if you're going to give to that family, understand that that family may not end up getting the outcome that you want. And you got to be okay with that, because at the end of the day, Karmelo Anthony took a life. And when you take a life, it requires a life. It requires something of you. That's why it's not good to take a life, because it's a sin against humanity. It causes this chaos. It causes this dysfunction. And so, as I said at the beginning of the video, this goes back to Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony is the one who planned this entire thing out.
I'm going to say this again, and this is for everybody. Black people in America, while the current occupant sits at 1600 Pennsylvania, black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day.
See, that was a jab against President Trump.
It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to, but we have to. We don't like to, but if we want to sleep at night, we got to. I ain't pulling no race card. I live it. I'm reminded all the time that I'm a black man in America. And what y'all just showed to Judge Tucker is just reminded that hate and bigotry and racial reconciliation in this country, we have respected the process.
Even if Judge Tucker was a white woman, DEI judge, she would have been called out. That had nothing to do with her race.
I believe that Austin Metcalf is about to have his funeral. And I wouldn't dare, even with the information
Sir, newsflash, Austin Metcalf already had his funeral. But you don't care about Austin Metcalf. You don't care about what he went through. You don't care about what his family went through.
No. And plenty of people can share that and all that. But we have prevented from speaking about that in these type of public forums. It will come out. They have a more than well-capable attorney, and this family will go through a process of being able to get prepared for this trial. So I just say this real quick. This is our final time speaking to public and holding a press conference.
Remember that. He said this is their final time speaking to the public and holding press conferences
Regarding this particular case. Now, the Next Generation Action Network will talk about Frisco ISD, but
So he's not going to step back. He's saying he's Dominique Alexander, just like he said on Facebook. He's Dominique Alexander, and he's writing his own story, and he's this and he's that. Okay, interesting. We'll see how this plays out.
Not do this. I will not ask this mother to do this again. The attorney will not. We won't do this again. Don't ask. We will see you at trial. Whatever venue that is, we will see you there. I stand 10 toes down supporting this family. And I want to thank all of the community leaders and people that I have seen that have came here today. Bishops and pastors and clergy, community leaders.
Okay to support whoever you want to support, right? Because this is a free country. You can support whoever you want. Okay? That's your choice. But I am really just asking you to look into the facts, and also don't be emotional about how you respond to the outcome. Because at the end of the day, this is a serious case. Someone's life was taken from them, and their family deserves to have justice for their loss, you know? And so I'm just asking you guys to really be considerate. This is not about you. This is about the family and getting justice for Austin Metcalf. Okay? So I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. This was a long video. So if you made it to the end, let me know you made it to the end in the comments, because this was a very long video. Probably the longest one I've ever done. So anyways, I love you guys. And thank you for watching. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.